Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marcello Kearns reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So this video is going to be about America is defeated by their own regulations. America is defeated according to their own regulations. Look, you can't hand out regulations, but you don't live by 'em. You can't hand out regulations, but you receive no violations when you break your own regulations. These regulations out here on these streets, this is for the suburban people. These regulations out here on these streets, people live and die because of the regulations. Just in case you think this is a game, some Chuck E. Cheese game that you find in the arcade of Chuck E. Cheese, people out here die because of violating regulations. Every day, somebody died today because they violated. They violated. So I say all that to say, as far as all this witch hunting, pedophiles, all the ghetto politics, hood politics, talking about protecting children over the past 10 years, how it done heated up, right? You can't pass out regulations that you don't live by. You can't pass out regulations that you violate. And this is for the streets, this is for the community, this is for the government. This is for the whole American community. You can't pass out regulations and then you violate them. Yeah, that's where we at. Because you want to sit back and talk about what everybody else doing, but let's talk about what they doing. That part. Let's talk about what they doing. Let's talk about what you ignorant of in your own community, in your American community. All these hood politicians. I'm talking about you. All these hood politicians. Let's talk about what you ignorant of. You ignorant of 44 states with child marriage, right? But you regulating according to regulations. How can you regulate according to regulations when you are ignorant of the laws that your country has set? How can you regulate properly? You can't. You can't regulate properly. You can't. And so for all these politics for the last, I would say back to even 2012 to now, all them hood politics, all these community politics that y'all have fun with, now it's time for judgment. Now it's time for judgment. Glad you had fun. I'm glad you had fun because now it's time for judgment. Glad you had a ball because it's time for judgment now. You got you got 44 states with child marriage, right? But you out here politicking according to pedophiles, trying to play games, your community jumping out the bushes like animals, playing games, right? On people, they don't even really know what they did. It remains a mystery, doesn't it? Well, it remains a mystery when you got no video and audio, no, do you got any records of people being raped? You got any doctor records of that? Where it shows they were forcefully raped. You don't got none of those documents from the hospital. You don't got no audios, no videos on a lot of people, right? You just throwing out pedophile character on people you don't even, on innocent people you don't even know. See now, and you ready to kill those type of people, right? So what we supposed to do to you according to your regulations? Because in your community, if someone's guilty, hear this part. If someone's guilty of doing something like this with kids, you will kill them, right? Hear it closely. Hey, yeah. Don't get sweet now. Don't get understandable now. Don't split hairs now. Because you're ready to kill people that do this. Hear that part. Hear that part. Hear all you docile people. You might walk away now. You're free to walk away now, actually. You're free to walk away from this video because you ain't going to do nothing anyway. You're part of the problem. Listen, people in your community have set up regulations, hear this part, to where people that have sex with children, according to their regulations, they die. That's for the hood part. That's for the hood part. That's for all y'all in the hood that want to hide now. You want to hide now. You want to hide. All these people that was to all these street people, y'all want to hide now. Why you hiding? You know why you hiding? Because I got you. I got you on 44 states with child marriage. And listen, that is over your country. That blankets your country, and you are liable because of your ignorance of these laws. Well, look, you can't go out playing John Wayne against the community when your government has made your country a pedophile nation. It's a pedophile nation. Okay, so you got 44 states with child marriage. That's 44 states out of 50, leaving only 6 states. That ain't a pedophile nation. Which means you don't even, in your right conscience and mind, you can't get up and do nothing. Okay, listen, if everybody having sex with children, how you gonna get up and do something? You got 44 states with child marriage. How can you get up in your right conscience and mind and do something about it? You can't, listen, are you trying to be effective? Are you trying to be effective? Because if you're trying to be effective, wouldn't it make sense to go out to the 44 states with child marriage? So you picked a weaker enemy because you're a weaker kind of person, ain't you? Well, hey, if I was a John Wayne cowboy child protector, that's what you are. If I was a John Wayne cowboy child protector like you, once I heard this information about 44 states with child marriage, I would get on my horse and head to Washington. I wouldn't get on my horse and be heading down to some block where there's some singular pedophile is. And you don't even got no records, no tangible records on that person. We got tangible records on your government, buddy. That part. Why you got nothing. Why you have nothing tangible. That's what we talking about. We talking about the real world. Everybody want to keep it 100. How much more 100 can I keep it? You got 44 states with child marriage. How much more 100 can I keep it? For real. And like I said, America is defeated according to their own regulations, not my regulations. I'm talking about the regulations y'all made up. I'm talking about the standards that y'all chose to live by. I'm talking about the codes that y'all chose to live by. When you go to the prison, to the penitentiary, they make it clear that they're anti-pedophile, right or wrong. Right or wrong. These penitentiaries that everybody is in, they make it super clear that they're against pedophiles, right? That's the regulations. That's the regulations and the codes. That's the regulations and the codes. So if you have 44 states with child marriage over your country, right? If you have that over your country, according to even prison regulations, which reflects street regulations, y'all violated according to y'all regulations. In other words, if you got all these guys in the penitentiary holding their country and their people, holding Americans, holding citizens to these regulations that if you violated a child as a adult, right? Because we can't control what children do with children. But we're talking about what people have done with adults, right? children, what adults have done with children. If that's violated according to their regulations, those people die. So these are regulations that are in the prison system and on the street. These regulations that are enforced in the prison system, these individuals, hear this part closely, these individuals come out onto your streets and they enforce these regulations as well. This is for people who act like in the hood that this don't really, well, we like, you don't know what's going on. Okay, all these thugs and all these criminals come home and they imply and enforce these same regulations of anti-pedophilia that's implied, that's insinuated, that's enforced in the prison system of America. In the prison system of America, the regulations are pedophiles die, right? That's the regulations in the prison system. So what's supposed to happen to 44 states with child marriage in America? If these are the regulations, I didn't make it up. I didn't say go kill a pedophile. People in prison do this, and they imply it in the black culture when they come out. Oh, they don't? Okay, so when these thugs come home, they don't imply the same thing they've been talking about in prison. So it's implied in the culture, just like every other street principle. That's a 7. Just like all these other street principles that come from the jailhouse, they are implied in hood politics. This is another one that's implied in hood politics. From people that come from prison and come from the street life, they imply and enforce this in the African American culture that if you are a pedophile, you die, right? So by your own regulations, America is defeated. I see the best people I could talk to is not these suburban people that want to play psychological games. Not you. I want to talk to a straight felon, straight from prison. Come straight home, fresh from prison. That's who I want to talk to. And you know what he gonna say? You know what he gonna say? Unlike you control people out here, you know what he gonna say? This country deserves to die. Just like, right or wrong? See, the real problem is I've been talking to the wrong crowd. Because I know with all my heart that if I talk to thugs and criminals that's in the prison system and I tell them that 44 states has child marriage, those prison system inmates are going to go crazy. Because that's the regulations that they set up. It contradicts their country that has them imprisoned, contradicts the regulations that they have. If you go to the prison system, for slow people, I gotta say it again. If you go to the prison system of America, and you tell these prisoners, these inmates, I don't care what state you go to, what city you go to, if you go to any prison system like Johnny Cash, how Johnny Cash used to visit the prison system, if you go to any of these prison systems, I guarantee you could tell them anything you heard about me. And if I sit here and tell them 44 states with child marriage is in this country, they don't care nothing about what I did. They worried about what your country has done. Boom. Because it's irrelevant. And if anything, I redeemed myself. Hey, for all my enemies, let me help you understand something. All my wannabe enemies, I've already redeemed myself. I haven't. Well, I let your country know you got 44 states with child marriage. That's not my redemption. Ooh. Oh, you didn't look at it like that. God is good. I defeated you and I'm redeemed. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not redeemed when all these rappers and singers don't know about 44 states with child marriage in your own country. And I'm the one, I'm the key messenger telling everybody about it, not these other people. I'm the one doing it. Right? That ain't my redemption. See how God is. God is mighty. God is almighty. Because listen, whatever I did, I done redeemed myself. Well, I let you know what's going on, what y'all doing. Oh, you didn't think about that, did you? Well, he redeemed himself. Yeah, that's a heck of a redemption. For him to, from all y'all, all the stuff that's been said about him, he tells us that the whole country has child marriage. I think that's proper redemption. I think that's proper redemption. I think that's proper redemption, which means whatever I say goes. Oh, yeah, that's part of the redemption. Ow. Hey, that's part of the redemption. I have control. Well, how you got control over me when you got 44 states with child marriage? Huh? You tripping. You tripping, buddy. I'm free. I'm freer than anybody here. As the messenger, as the prophetic messenger that has revealed this to your community. Right on time and right in pocket with the time. I let them do all they could. Year after year, God let them do it. That's what real masters did. I let you take your best shot. And then when you was done with that, now you're finished. You got 44 states with child marriage, baby. Boom. I let you take every shot you wanted to take. You had full reign to do whatever you wanted to do to me. And you couldn't beat me. And when you got done with it, guess what? I'm the key messenger, the prophetic messenger that revealed America got 44 states with child marriage. Ow. No one cares about what you're doing. We care about why do America got 44 states with child marriage violating their own regulations. Well, I don't know anybody here that wants to marry children by culture. Any of the culture? Let's get to the culture part. We address the streets, we address how the prisoners feel, how they imply it in the hood politics and everything, and how that's a violation. Well, listen, that's a violation to the American community. That's a violation according to what they've done in the American community. In the hood, hear this part, the hood has to hold them responsible. Yeah, that's y'all regulations. Now let's talk about the culture. The culture, you see that part right there? That right there. Now you feel that feeling? You feel that? That's victory. That's victory for me. Ow. Your culture, according to their regulations, protect children. You see all the movies they got? Oh, let's just go to the Law and Order. This is all part of the culture, the movies and all of that. That speaks for American perspective. It speaks for the American culture. Okay, so you imply no child marriage. You imply all child protecting. So according to your regulations, what do you think? I'm talking to the American culture. Do you not think that the American government is 100 extremely liable? According to your culture and your regulations. According to your culture and regulations, the American culture, do you not find that the American government is liable, extremely liable? According to your regulations, not my regulations, not my regulations, not my regulations, according to your regulations, your American culture regulations. That's for all the millionaires and billionaires and all you people that think you're high, high and mighty. According to your principles and regulations, your regulations, not mine, not the ones I made for you. Do you not think that the American government is liable? They're not liable. Extremely liable to fatality. Well, okay, you say it's extreme. My perspective. I'm just saying, listen, let the system die. They don't have to die, the system has to die. The system that created 44 states with child marriage cannot live any longer, according to your regulations. It's no way out of this. That's why I told you, this is a perfect win. I win this. It's no need to fight the feeling. It's time to die. Listen, it's no need to fight the feeling, man. Don't try to fight the feeling. Shh, stop your blood clot crying. Stop your blood clot crying. It's time to stop fighting the feeling. You got 44 states with child marriage and you trying to fight the feeling, bro. That's death. That's death by American regulations. Not my regulations. You see how quiet these people are? You see how quiet they are, though. Now let's just do an illustration or an analogy, if you will, of an individual that may have been in a similar situation as America's in. You got 44 states with child marriage. Now hear me out. What if you had an American that had 44 cases of child molestation from state to state in 44 states? Hear me again, because I don't think you heard me. What if you had an American person that had 44 cases in all different states, 44 pedophilia cases, 44 child molestation cases in 44 different states in America? What would y'all want done with that individual? 44 different cases of child sexuality, having sex with a child. One individual, 44 different cases in 44 different states. What would y'all want done with that individual? Don't give me all the right answers. I'm talking about somebody you know or you seen, and you were told, informed that that person really did have 44 cases of child molestation. What would you want done with that person? Oh, take them to summer camp. Huh? That's what you got going on in 44 states with child marriage. That's what you got going on. You got 44 different cases of child marriage. The cases represents each state. You got 44 states with child marriage. That's 44 states. If it was a man that did that, y'all would want him dead. Oh, you telling me a man that will be able to walk the streets of your country having had 44 different cases of child molestation in 44 different states, and he would be in some great metropolis like New York or Los Angeles, y'all would let him ride with 44 states with 44 cases of child molestation? I'm holding you to your own regulations. Is it right or is it fair or not fair? I'm holding you to your own standard and perspective of living. Ain't nothing you can do about it. This is why this is a flawless win. If this was Mortal Kombat, this would be a flawless victory. For all the Mortal Kombat players, they know what a flawless victory is. For you non-Mortal Kombat players, let me explain a flawless victory. A flawless victory is when you beat the crap out of the opponent without being punched one time. You ain't gonna punch me one time. This is a flawless victory. How you gotta punch on me? What? Oh, something I did when I was a kid? That's not enough. That's not gonna hold up, buddy. In the courts of the country, in the courts of the world. You talking about childhood stories and bedtime stories. You Teddy Ruxpin. Hey, while you playing Teddy Ruxpin, the talking bear telling child stories and bedtime stories, I'm talking about 44 states with child marriage, big baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And that violates your regulations by streets, by culture, and even by government, some would say. You see the part of the show where we at? Oh, I know you think I'm talking about the same thing, but I'm talking about different dynamics of the same thing. Well, I'm talking about different dynamics, which which closes in, which seals the fatality. I got to talk about all the dynamics that which seals the fatality. All these dynamics around 44 states with child marriage seals the fatality. Okay? I'm holding y'all to your own regulations. And here's the next dynamic, which I got to do a video just on this, because with the American community, you know, you can't say everything in one video. You can't do it. They're not gonna listen. They're not gonna listen. Okay? You have all these situations where, okay, adults marrying children. Now, you got 44 states with child marriage. They violated that. So what we supposed to do with them? This is what I'm asking. What do we supposed to do in this case? Do we just let them go? Do we just let them be? Do we just let them ride in this situation? You would not let somebody ride in the situation if it was me. If I had 44 different cases of child molestation in your country, your community would want me dead. So what's supposed to happen with 44 states with child marriage? Oh, this is what I wanted to say. That's how you know I got a good mind, because it's still there. If you don't hold them to the same standard you hold me, y'all dead. Ow. Well, look, you can't hold me to a standard of death and not hold them to a standard of death. I know you're a punk, but you're going to grow some balls real quick. Because if you don't challenge these people like you challenged me, you got to go. You got to go, man. Listen, that means to me that you a fraud just like they a fraud. Well, I thought you was about protecting children. So here's your work for you right here. Here's all the work you need. You got 44 states with child marriage. That's all the work you need. And if you don't hold them to the same standard you hold us to, you are dead. That's the regulations. Listen, you're going to be held accountable with them. I promise you that. For everybody that acted, everybody that did something, everybody that got their ears perked up and you want to play community police, if you do not hold the people that are marrying children in 44 states to the same regulations that you're holding us to, y'all dead. You dead. And that go for the hood, that go for the community, that go for the government, that go for America. You are dead. You can't, listen, you cannot go around playing with people. I know you thought you could. You thought you looked at the past and thought you could just assassinate me, didn't you? But why you ain't done it yet? Why you ain't done it yet then? Because you can't do it. And you about to die your darn self. Let alone me, you about to die. Because you holding me to standards that your country is not living by. They the ones doing it, in other words. And they get no consequences. Who you supposed to pay off? Oh, they supposed to pay you off? They paying you off? Nah, buddy. Who you gonna pay off? Who you gonna pay money to? You supposed to pay money to me. Yeah, because you violated too. Listen, bro. You had a whole operation. You had all these operations against me, and I come to be the key speaker to reveal to you what you, ironically, in the same category, what your country is actually doing. That's a bag in itself. And you violated me, and they was the ones that's doing it. We don't care about testimonies. We care about physical evidence, audios and videos. And we care about real real-time life that shows that this person was separated and removed as a result of some type of activity. If the person wasn't removed from anyone, how can you really prove that? Come on, man. And listen, if somebody is accused of some type of sexuality crime, how he's still hanging out with the people that they talking about did something? He did something to. How is he still living among them and fully accepted? Fully accepted. Hear this part. If you see full acceptance, you've been lied to, bro. Nah. I know you want to play the psychology game where you want to make up a different narrative. That's a 7-hour. You want to use the psychological deepness of the situation. You want to use psychological depth to try to explain and try to say it's another reason why they were still hanging out. Oh, what you call it? Victim sympathy or some shit like that. What you call it? Victim sympathy. Sympathetic for the predator. Let me come on, man. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. You're psychologically splitting hairs. That's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. Listen, man, that ain't gonna hold up. It's a million scenarios you can come up with psychologically speaking. I could go in somebody's case and say, well, this could have happened psychologically. This is the reason why that could have happened psychologically. You got 5 different cases, 5 to 10 different scenarios psychologically to any sexual abuse situation, and you can just make up any narrative. But when you have total alliance among the people that you're talking about, one was a predator and one was a victim, and there's total alliance, it's harder to prove that really was the narrative that's being projected. A sexual abuse narrative is hard to prove when people have real time and real life acceptance their whole life. You would be a little standoffish towards that person. Right or wrong. You would not be inviting them to parties. You would not be inviting them to see your son born in the hospital, now would you? You wouldn't be inviting them to gatherings like that. Anybody would invite a child predator to see their child born in the hospital? That's the purest evidence that you've been given the wrong narrative. Well, if somebody victimized me sexually, I'm not going to bring them to see my son born. I'm not going to sleep in the same house with them alone. No, it's unheard of according to American culture. That you're taking and putting different psychological narratives on a situation that has to fight against 100% acceptance. Real-time life showing acceptance, the whole life. Nothing funny between no situation where the person is not being embraced. But so you make up different psychological narratives of why that's happening with multiple different people. All the same narrative. Ow. It ain't gonna hold up, buddy. So you're painting the same narrative that is predator sympathy, right? So how does that apply with 5 and 10 different people? How could that apply? The same narrative, same psychological narrative. Applied to 5 different brains. He's getting along with everybody. She's getting along with everybody. But you apply the same narrative that why they're getting along with everybody is because of psychological, because you know which definition I'm talking about. Because of sympathy for the predator. Well, how does it apply to 5 different people, the same psychological narrative? That's a 7 hour. You just did what white American culture do, is just slap diagnoses on situations and walk away. Slap psychological narratives on situations and walk away. That's a 7 hour. Boom. I got it. Listen, man. Meanwhile, you violating your own regulations for 44 states with child marriage. Ow. This is over, man. You're dead. Listen, man, like I told you, if it had been somebody that had 44 different cases of child molestation, y'all would have been sent some guy to kill that guy or that woman. So what are we supposed to do in the case of 44 states with child marriage, bro? Y'all, if y'all don't hold them to the same standard, this is the part of the show that you ain't gonna like. I'm gonna tell you, this is the part of the show you ain't gonna like. You ain't gonna like this part. You're not gonna like this. Guess what? And like I said, I gotta do a video on it. If you don't hold them to the same standard, then you a fraud. Don't you know that? You are the biggest frauds. Your whole American culture is fraudulent. It's a setup. I'm telling you, it's a perfect setup. I can't make this up, man. You started a whole circus talking about children. You gotta, that circus got a lot of more work to do. You got a lot of more routes to make, buddy. You got a lot of more touring to bring that circus. You got to bring that circus to a lot of more towns, buddy. Yeah. You got to bring that circus to every great metropolis. Talking about them 44 states with child marriage and see how they react. That's a 7 hour. We want to see how Atlanta feel about 44 states with child marriage. Yeah, let's do a tour. Let's do it. Let's go to the Bronx where they got all them Puerto Rican children and tell them about 44 states with child marriage. That's a 7 hour. Huh? Let's go to Miami where they got all those diversity of children and tell them they got 44 states of child marriage in America. Ow. Let's go to Los Angeles with all the Mexican children and tell them they got 44 states with child marriage in America. Ow. Hey, let's even go talk to these white supremacists. Hey, let's rev them up. They already crazy. You don't need that, buddy. Let's get these white supremacists started, boy. You know they all go by doctrine anyway. They go by doctrine. I'll tell you one thing about them. They go by facts and doctrines, don't they? They go by facts, don't they? Hey, listen, man. When evil is brought upon you, I ain't discriminating what evil is brought upon you, buddy. I ain't saying I'm on their side, but God, you can see in the Bible, God releases evil on people. Didn't say what kind of evil it was going to be, did it? I mean, what I'm saying is, we don't know what kind of evil God is going to release, do we? Because evil is evil. God doesn't agree with it. So God is not going to agree with any evil that's released against. I mean, he's not in an alliance, if you will, with any evil that's released against you. Which would be white supremacists, pro-black people, pro-black supremacists, whoever. I mean, the evil is being released. So let's let them know. Because you know one thing I know about these white supremacists, where a lot of you people in the urban community ain't being 100, they go crazy when it comes to information. They go crazy when it comes to real information. I guarantee you that. While you sitting up doing nothing in the hood, while y'all ain't doing nothing about it, y'all ain't saying nothing about it. Let's go to these white supremacists then. Hey, listen, man, you can call me whatever you want to, man. Listen, I'm here to inform everybody. I'm here. Listen, you don't think I want them to know? Yeah, I want them to know. They don't want to take pride in the country so much. If not for any other reason, They take pride in America so much, these white supremacists. Let's let them know what's going on. Why not? You got 44 states with child marriage in America. I want the white supremacists to know about it. Hey, look, I tried with you cultured people. It's time to go to other sources. It's time to go to other people. You sit there playing the okey doke game with a blank look on your face. I ain't got time for it. We gonna go to everybody. Listen. I bet I'll be the only black man they want alive. Hey, listen, man, listen. Hey, listen. That's their principles, not mine. That's their regulations. I bet they won't have a problem with me. Because listen, when it comes to these children, most good people are family-oriented people will put racism aside. It's some races that don't like black people or non-white people, but they will protect the children. That's the 7th hour. So when I tell them this information where America is marrying children in 44 states, you don't think they're going to do nothing about that? After all, it's their country that they take pride in, so much pride in. Listen, man, I'm going all the way with this. You want to be culturally happily ever after. You want to bring everybody together, and that's not going to work anyway. You got this grand plan to bring everybody together when everybody crazy. Well, you're bringing a whole bunch of crazy people together, I'll tell you that part. That's the part you need to know. That's the most important. That's the fine print. That's the fine print in this situation. Half of these people are crazy now. Oh, you didn't notice that? Oh, they hide it very well, but half of them are crazy now. Hey, somebody talking like me, you know how you know I'm normal? Because I'm talking. Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know. And I'm making plenty of sense while I'm talking too on top of that. That's definitely how you know. I don't trust no quiet people. You're too quiet to be sound-minded. There's too much going on for you to be quiet. That means you crazy. That's what it means to me. Hey, ain't no way a sound-minded person can be sitting up here watching all this foolishness and saying nothing. Hey, you must have gave up or you crazy. Which one is it? Maybe it's both. I personally don't care. I'm finna go to the other people. I'm finna go to your enemies. See what they think about this. See what these white supremacists think about 44 states with child marriage. Hey, I didn't say I was going to join them. Obviously not. But hey, I think they have a right to know. I think they have a right to know. See how quiet you are? You're doing nothing about it. Let them find out about it. Let them find out about it. Yeah, you're not as tough as you claim to be. Because while you sitting back knowing this information, you sitting back like fat cats still doing nothing about it. So let's go to the white supremacists and see what they think about 44 states with child marriage. I didn't say I was going to join them. I said I want them to know the information about their country that they take pride in so much. And I want to see the reaction to that. Hey, look, man, I think every American citizen, racist or non-racist, need to know. Bottom line, they need to know. And like I said, a white supremacist, if ain't no other reason for him to know, he needs to know because he's taking so much pride in this country. Yeah, he owns this country in his eyes. Why shouldn't he know based on that? He should know. He should know based on him so loving America, talking about America, America, America. So great, so grand. Okay, you need to know this information, little buddy. If it ain't for no other reason. So basically, it should happen. Regardless. Yeah, because you sitting back quiet. Like nobody don't know you're quiet. Oh, you don't think I know you're quiet about it? Oh, you're loud about everything else when you think you found something, didn't you? Aren't you? You're quiet. Hey, you're loud like animals when you think you found something, haven't you? So now why are you so quiet on this? Because you know it's your death sentence because it violates your regulations in your country. Man, as soon as the whole American community find out, it's over. That's why I'm telling you, it's the regulations that's got you in trouble. It's these regulations. It ain't, listen, everything I'm telling you is none of it is my fault. You made up these regulations. In other countries, they are not like you. They don't go around playing John Wayne child protector. You do. Why you got 44 states for child marriage, buddy? Other countries know their laws and know they don't have the right to do nothing. Well, if you know the laws, you know you don't have no right. Literally. When you got 44 states for child marriage. Yeah, listen, this is a full win, buddy. It's a whole win. Like the kids say now, they say put hold on everything. It's a whole win. Bro, this a whole win. You got, man, come on. Ain't no way out of this. You trying to shuck and jive, like the old school say. You shucking and jiving. Ain't no way you gonna shuck. When you done shucking and jiving and gyrating, I'll be sitting right here waiting for you. When you fly up doing all acrobats and thinking you're gonna do some kind of ninja trick and Jedi mind trick out of this, when you get done with this and you come back down to earth, I'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting right here for you. With the 44 states child marriage information, that's 7 hours. I'll be waiting right here for you when you get done with all that foolishness that you can't escape. That's why I like real-time information, real-time facts, and real-time information. It triumphs over everything. It does, yeah. We don't care about what you think. We don't care about what you think about us. I don't care. I'm not concerned with that. I'm concerned with how you are violating your own regulations and you walk around here with your chest out. Yo, you walking around here with your bust out like you winning. These men and women are walking around here with their bust out like they winning, buddy. I can't make this up. That's how arrogant America is. Hear this part. In their greatest defeat, they walk around here like they winning. Listen, you've been going to too many positive speech, positive seminars. You've been going to all these positive thinking seminars. It ain't gonna hold up on reality, buddy. Listen, I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. You see the difference? Yeah, you got optimists, you got pessimists. For people that are not my grade, let me help you understand something in the world. You have optimists, you have pessimists, and you have realists. 3 different categories of people. Now, if you're an optimist, sometimes, let me tell you what's wrong with an optimist. Let me tell you what's wrong with an optimist. An optimist wants to look at everything that's positive, even the negative stuff. Even the stuff that should be brought, let me put it like this. Even the negative stuff that justice should be brought about. Even the negative stuff that they should be talking about to bring justice about. Even the negative stuff that needs their voice on it, that needs correction. Optimists would try to be positive and sidestep it and maintain their positive energy. That sounds like a crazy person to me. You sound crazy. You trying to be positive around foolishness and violence and death, and you trying to say, well, I'm just gonna come over here and I'm gonna still be positive. You sound crazy. That's what's wrong with the positive, optimistic person. You're crazy. You're positive out of reality. Your positivity is your God. Ooh, that's a 7 hour. Your positivity is your God, because you know what I think? You'll fall all apart if you ain't positive. You don't see me falling apart. You don't see me depressed. Yeah. You don't see that happening to me. Because I'm built for this. Everybody talking about they built for the world and built for life and built for this and that and the third. But you're not built for these facts. You're not built for the facts of 44 states with child marriage. You don't know what to do with yourself, do you? Hey, you don't know what to do with yourself, do you? When this 41-year-old young man is telling you, you got child marriage in America and you ain't know about this whole time. Boom, that's a 7 hour. Huh? That's the problem with these optimists. You're positive to a fault. Well, you're so positive, you don't know what's going on negative. You don't want to go and search out the negative things that's going on in your country. Now you blind to all of it because you want to be positive, because you want to be optimistic. See, you can't take that to the extreme. Okay? A pessimist, what's wrong with them is they always yapping with no solutions. Yap, 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 rah, 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 rah. But you ain't got no solutions. So you a gimmick talking about all the problems with no solutions. That's all you are. Hey, check some of these pro-black people out too. Listen, they ain't nothing but commercial pessimists sitting up telling you all the problems you already know about. I'm telling you about things that's been going on for a million years, and they banking off of it. They ain't doing nothing but telling you what's going on, that's been going on a million times. They playing you. You been knew about that stuff they talking about. You ain't been knew about this. You ain't been knew about what I'm talking about. They telling you the same stuff, and you been do that. Listen to the stuff they saying compared to the stuff I'm saying. It's refried beans. You've heard everything they said a million times over. Especially old people, you done heard it a million times. They ain't saying nothing to me. And listen, anyway, people ain't responding to what they saying. So they just get a following and get a certain amount of power among themselves. And some would say that's a gimmick. You got a lot. I ain't doing no names. You got a lot of pessimists out there, and that's all they doing. You're being if you're not a pessimist per se, you're pessimistic. Come on. You're being negative. You're talking about all the negativity, all this, all that, but you're adding no solutions. You know what my solution is? This government has to resign. This is the solution. Listen, it's unfathomable for many of you to think about it, but if you really think about it, it is the solution. You get rid of the racist people, you don't got to worry about a racist system anymore. The racist system will be gone. The racist system will be gone. It won't be there no more. So the racist people won't get to come to the new system. That's a 7th hour. And there you go. You have a raceless America. A raceless list of America. That's the solution. But here's the catch. See, when the prophet tells you the solutions, you might think this is gangster, but it's how it got to go. When the prophet tell you the solutions and the plans, you can't run with it and do your own thing. You gotta come with it. You gotta come with him. Oh, that's the catch. Oh, you thought you was gonna run with the information and do something with your own, do it on your own. You know how many satanic principalities is fighting this information? And you don't even got no spiritual backbone. You know how quick you'll be dead? You know how quick you'll be a dead man? Trying to play my shoes? Huh? I'm gonna say it like that. Trying to play my shoes, you know how quick you'll be dead. Huh? Trying to play my shoes. You know how quick you'll be dead. Oh, I know I make it look easy. I make it look real easy. You do it in one day and you die. Go talk about 44 states with child marriage and see how it works for you. I bet you won't be here next year. So for some reason, your life will be torn apart. I know you thought you could piggyback off of what I'm doing. You thought you could take what I'm doing and try to critique it and do it better, or do it your way, or do it the white way, or the black way. Listen, it's too many principalities. That's why you respect the prophet, just like you respect the shooter. Just like you respect the killer, you respect the prophet, because you can't do it. You're not equipped to do it. That's why many people, and this is no disrespect, that's why many leaders that have been in your country, they tried to do it and they died. They wasn't equipped to do it. When Moses tells you, let my people go, Pharaoh got to do it. Now let some scraggly person that that's envious and jealous anyway, that want to be the man anyway, or the woman, Let them try to do the same thing and see. Let them try to be Moses and see what happened to them. Ooh, that's a 7 hour. Let them try to be Moses and see what happened to the wannabe Moseses. Yeah, you can't listen. You can't listen. The gangster catch is, and I ain't gonna say the gangster catch, but you know what I mean. What's gangster about the situation is, you know what I mean. You got to go my way. Oh yeah, you got to go my way. That's the catch. Well, hey, you're not even equipped to do this now, are you? You know how much destruction and death will come to you trying to be me? Huh? Oh, I know. I make it look cool, don't I? So cool that you think you can do it. Well, how come you ain't done it yet? How come you have not opened your mouth and articulated that your American country has 44 states for child marriage? How come you ain't done it? This is a year later for me. I'm still here. Stronger than ever. Huh? You can't do what I do. Respect the leader. Well, listen, man. The bottom line is you ain't doing it. That's the bottom line. The bottom line, you ain't sharing this information with nobody. That's the bottom line that we're dealing with you. That you're mute when it comes to this. But you're just like other ignorant people. You want to pull up and see what I'm about. You don't want to pull up on the government and see what they're about. That's all we ask you to do, is to hold them to the same regulations that you holding everybody else to. Hold them to the same check up and pull up that you doing with everybody else. Yeah, you want people to check in? Listen, man, if you was gangster, you would have the government check in. Ooh. Ow. That's a 7. That owl just came out. If you was gangster, you would tell the government they gotta check in. Certain officials from their system gotta check in with you. Oh, come on. What kind of gangster system you got going there? Oh, you got a scrubby gangster system where people with less than $1 million have to check in. Okay. If you was really gangsters, you would have government politicians checking in. They ain't checking in with you. Stop playing. That's what I'm saying. You play the same. I'm going to tell you what has happened in your American community. Y'all have practiced the same thing that the American government and culture has been doing. You pick on convenient enemies. You pick on convenient enemies that's convenient for you to pick on. But you don't fight your greatest adversaries. With how I see it, in American community, as far as a whole, from what I've observed, you do not fight your greatest adversaries. If you black and you fight black people, you losing already. Now listen, I'm not telling you pick another race to fight. I'm telling you that ain't the race that's your biggest enemy. If you black, you shouldn't be fighting black people. You should be fighting for the powers that be that still is subtly controlling you. And I didn't say you have to physically fight them. You see what I'm doing? All you got to have is the right information. They going crazy. If we were really the child protectors that we claim, that your country claims to be, you would already been doing what I did 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. How come you ain't done it? Because you're not, in all actuality, none of y'all are the child protectors you project yourselves to be. Can we establish that? Well, I mean, if you got a whole culture and community of child protectors, how come nobody don't know these laws? Nobody knows them among the child protectors. Can't make this up. Among you child protectors, none of you know these laws. That's hard to believe. And it's safe to say that you're not the child protector that you claim to be. And some people would say, I'm better at it than you. That goes for the cops too, buddy. Well, while you're on the beat, they got 44 states for child marriage, buddy. Ow. While you're on the beat, A little child is getting beat in a child marriage. Hey, I'm just being honest with you. FBI, come on, man, come on. FBI, let me tell you something. You investigate all these prostitution rings and everything like that. Man, you got 44 states with child marriage. You think I care about some FBI? You could tell them I said it. Listen, how am I gonna be scared of the system that I'm defeating? I'm not scared of none of them. I'm not scared of none of them. All that foolish, psychological foolishness is defeated and sent back to them. That's a 7th hour. How the FBI gonna come to see me? Huh? That's why I am a revolutionary. You scared to stick your face out the window if the FBI outside. That's a 7th hour. You scared to look out the window if the FBI are out there. The feds are out there. You scared to look out the window. Like you got something to hide. You ain't got nothing to hide because you ain't got no information. You ain't doing nothing. You definitely don't got nothing to hide. In order to have something to hide, you have to have something. You have nothing. You may have a couple bags of drugs. Man, come on, man. You ain't even worth the FBI's time, in other words. Hey, they can come and investigate me. They can come any day they want. And guess what? You know why the government's scared? Because they're going to be on my side. Well, as soon as I say 44 states with child marriage, it's over, Al. Hey, we might not like him, but he wins. We might not like him, but he definitely wins. Might not be the greatest trophy of all time defeating a good country, but hey, it is what it is. I didn't say it was the greatest accomplishment of all time. Oh, that's a 7th hour. I didn't say it was the greatest accomplishment of all time. I didn't say it was the most beautiful accomplishment of all time. Well, it is kind of beautiful, though. I got to admit that. But if I didn't talk like this, nothing would get done. That's what these Christians got to understand. They want you to, American Christians, listen, man. Listen, you have to inspect everything here in America. Don't you forget it. I don't care what it is. And a lot of these American Christians and their Christianity, it's a little bit of control issued by the government. So so when it comes to humility, you don't think I'm being humble because you don't even raise your voice and talk about nothing. I can show you in the Bible where Jesus talked loudly or he spoke boldly. You don't even do that because you think that's not humble. Yeah. And you know what that means? You're just submitted to the government now, aren't you? Hey, look, listen, you're responsible for your own behavior. It ain't my fault. I didn't tell you to be like that, did I? Obviously not. Obviously not. And God didn't tell you to be like that. The Bible says the righteous are bold as lions. That's what the Bible says. The righteous are as bold as lions. While you practicing synthetic humility. That's synthetic humility. The Bible says the righteous are as bold as lions. You know how somebody in America that is a Christian is going to get seen as being bold as a lion? An arrogant Christian. That's how you're going to look at it. An arrogant Christian that you despise, while the Bible says the righteous are as bold as lions. Ow. Yeah. All you got is a little dynamic, a satellite issued through your Christianity from the government, PC, politically correct Christianity, where you're submitted to them, where you don't raise your voice, where you don't even talk loudly, you don't even say nothing about change or nothing because you're controlled. That was issued by the government, by the way. That's a 7th hour. Oh, well, how can you explain why all of American Christianity is not speaking of any freedoms and not speaking of any things like what I'm talking about? Why they were never really at the forefront of change in this country? Because they were part of being controlled. And they thought that was being humble. They thought they were being humble. You was being controlled too. That's a 7th hour. Yeah, yeah. And you quick to look down on somebody like me and uphold the red, white, and blue that's marrying children with 44 states in it. That's the seventh hour. Yeah, playtime is over, big baby. I can talk to any and everybody you want to bring. This is a nuke. This is a nuke that nobody can avoid. You can't avoid this nuclear bomb, buddy. This hits everybody. It hits everybody. See, what you got to understand, what pro-black people got to understand is some people don't care nothing about that black stuff. What you going to do about them? That runs your country, that is in power. What are you going to do about them? What are you going to do about them? Listen, look, man, they don't care. Don't you see that? So you think you're going to start a revolution when people don't care about something? That's the seventh hour. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you because you got all this campaigning going on and it ain't going to change nothing. Well, has it changed anything? That's my question. So check yourself, because are you practicing a form of insanity? Because if it didn't work in the past and you're doing the same thing expecting different results, you don't think that's insanity? That's insanity by definition. Well, you got to try something else, man. Listen, you got to try something else. It's not working. What I'm saying is instantly working. Man, look, man, do anybody care about a country with 44 states with child marriage? We can get on with this show. You want to be cute. You want to be pretty and talk about pro-black stuff. And you're not militant-minded enough to see this is the win. That's the seventh hour. You're not militant-minded enough in strategizing as far as military to see that this is the win. Or you want to have an elegant speech talking about black power. That's how you want to win. That's the seventh hour. That's how you want to win. You want to win talking about black power. Am I wrong? Come on now. Everybody got their own avenue. I broke the mold. I'm trying to show you. You trying to win. You ain't trying to win by any means necessary, like Malcolm X said. That's the seventh hour. By any means necessary. That's what I'm talking about. By any means necessary. You trying to do it by black power. How ironic. That I'm using a phrase from a man that defended black people all the way. Any means necessary comes from Malcolm X. He defended black people all the way. But I'm showing you any means necessary so you can come out of blackness. Talking about blackness all the time. And just get the wins. And win this stuff. You trying to do it your way. And you know how, and listen, if you had the Holy Ghost, he would have been pulled you out of that. Because, listen, no one cares. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. But they don't care, man. You don't think they can see clearly what's going on? You got white people that don't eat, that you don't even know about. Yeah. Don't care nothing about this. Don't care nothing about your freedom at all. Well, hey, they're human after all. Some people just say, hey, I'm not involved. What you going to say about that? That's the seventh hour. Hey, you do the same stuff in the hood. When somebody get killed, you don't say nothing about it, do you? That's the seventh hour. So what's the difference? That's the seventh hour. Your quietness is no different than theirs. That's the seventh hour. They sit back in their white neighborhoods and they don't say nothing. They sit back in their white neighborhoods and they don't say nothing about your freedom. They don't care about your freedom. You sit back in the neighborhood and you watch people kill people and you don't say nothing about it. What's the difference? But you banging at their doors talking about, they should say something. They should say something about this. Well, you ain't saying nothing about the black killing. Maybe you don't think that's your karma? Look, man, you got to get your house in order before you expect angels to come to help you. Well, look, man, you ain't doing the obvious. You don't think God see that? You're not doing the obvious. The obvious is, the elephant in the room is, you're killing your own people. That's a big problem if you're a military. That's the seventh hour. If you were a military, that would be a big problem. That you're killing your own military? That's the seventh hour. You're killing your own military, that ain't a big problem. Well, if I had an army and they were killing each other, we gotta stop. We got to stop for a minute. Hey, we got to pull off the side of the road. Hold up. We got to pull off the side of the road. You still ain't done that. You still trying to truck up the road. That's a 7 hour. And that's why you're losing. Because you're still trying to go it alone. I don't know how you're trying to go. Now people say in the commercial, you're trying to go it alone. You're trying to go it alone, going up on your own, still talking about this stuff, still talking about pro-blackness and all of this stuff and all of this, some would say irrelevant information, trucking up the road to no avail because it's too much of a contradiction in your own community. You should know this, but you know why you ain't moving about it? You know why you ain't doing that? Because you're biased about the situation. That's your people, so you're not gonna say nothing. Come on, man. I'm lying about it. I'm lying. It ain't a form of biasness in your community. Boy, that's a 7. This is why you ain't getting nothing done, because you're too biased to get something done. That's a 7 hour. You're too biased to get anything done. How you gonna bring about change when you biased about the problem? That's a 7 hour. You biased about the problem, so how you gonna bring solutions? Well, if you're biased about the problem, you're not gonna talk about it in its entirety, are you? You're not gonna talk about it in its entirety. No, you're not. No, you're not, because you're too biased to talk about the full truth, to get solutions. So guess what? You can't play the universe, can you? You can't shuck and jive when it comes to the universe, right? You can't shuck and jive when it comes to the spiritual realm. So if you sit back and you're biased about the problems, you know what the universe is going to hand you? You know what the spiritual world is going to hand you? The spiritual realm is going to hand you the same foolishness. The same foolishness. Getting worse and waxing worse, actually. And that's why God has not brought you solutions, because you want to be biased about the problems. You can't do it. And it's worked for people that's getting money, but it hasn't worked for you, has it? That's a 7 hour. Well, hey, if I was a successful person that's getting money from the black community, I would personally tell you, but most people would not really tell you the truth because they're scared of losing their money. Don't you get it? That's why your leaders influence you, therefore, to be the same way. Well, I don't talk. If you see these famous people not talking about it, you ain't going to talk about it. You don't see them addressing any issues, so why would you do it? They make you feel like everything's okay. They make you feel like everything is all right. And God will hold them responsible for that too. Oh, I know. The Bible says to whom much is given, much is required. Oh, and if you don't do what's required of you to do, you don't think that's a violation? That's a 7 hour. Oh, you think you just get to walk away from stuff that you're required to do? It says to whom much is given, much is required. Not a busy fat cat business schedule. I ain't talking about that, buddy. Oh, I know you didn't dig deep into what the requirements were. Oh, you thought it was only consist of your busy schedule. That's what you thought the much and given, much required was talking about. You jumping all around America. That's a 7 hour. It's way more than that. That's your schedule. They ain't talking about the much required. The requirements is for you to be a leader. That's one of them. Over the people. Be a wholesome judge of things. Not one-track minded. You give it millions of dollars. You can't be one-track minded. That's a 7 hour. You got $1 million and one-track minded. Look at these Americans. They have millions of dollars and still are one-track minded. Well, I can't do nothing but sing my song. That's what I'm supposed to do. Too much is given, much is required. Okay, you got a little song going, you got some money. Okay, to whom much is given, much is required. Okay? Which means you have millions of dollars. Much has been given to you. Now much is required. Oh, that's the catch. The cash that you've been overlooking. You've been overlooking that, oh, okay, you got the money, but guess what, buddy? It's much required of you out here. I know. You thought it, like I said, you thought it meant a busy schedule. Much is required of me. My schedule is busy because I have much. Because I have much. My schedule is busy. No. Listen. Too much, to whom much is given, much is required. This is another problem in your community. This goes right in key with my messages too. They gotta enforce the regulations too. Oh, okay, they over you. They know what's going on in the hood politics. They try to act like they don't, but you know they do. Okay, they don't know what's. All these rappers don't know what's going on in the politics. They don't know about me. I'm pretty sure they do. That's a 7 hour. Oh, you don't think I know that they know about me? Oh, you got to. All this going on. Hey, I'm pretty sure. But meanwhile, they don't know nothing about 44 states with child marriage, and they ain't holding them to them same regulations. They got to. If look, once you get in the game, there's rules. You can't just pop out the game, bro. You can't do it. If you tamper with the game and you play with the game, a deadly game, of playing the regulator and the regulations, listen, even I have to be careful. Even I got to be careful. But you know what covers me is that I am a servant of God. Now that may not mean nothing to you, but you get violations if you play with it and you don't acknowledge it. Yeah. That's the difference. It's my job. I'm driven to do it. I do it without trying to do it. But you do it and you ain't got no reason to do it. And you ain't upholding no standards of living anyway. You ain't upholding standards of proper living anyway. So why you holding up any standards? And you don't know 44 states got child marriage. So how you upholding any kind of standards? Yeah, we want to see it fall. You can call me evil. You can call me wicked. You can call me whatever you want. We want to see the system that's marrying children cease to be. When you play with people's lives, walking around here like y'all cowboys and savages and everything in between, and here you are with 44 states with child marriage, man. Man, who you think you playing with, man? Yeah, ain't playing no games. Listen, man. That's violation of your own regulations. I ain't talking about no other country. Do you live in another country? You live in Chile? You down in Morocco? Huh? You live in Costa Rica? So you ain't got nothing to do with their politics. Life and death concerning your community has nothing to do with Costa Rica, now does it? Costa Rica has nothing to do whether you live and die, now do it. So why are you talking about them then? They ain't got nothing to do with whether you live or die. What you do here is why you live or die. Your culture here is why you will live or die. These people around you is why you will live or die. Not no Costa Rican people. Costa Rican people do not decide what they're doing does not decide whether you live or die. These people around you are your judge after all. And that's all I'm trying to awaken, is the realization of that. This country is going to be eaten by its own regulations that they have among their own people. You got 44 states with child marriage. You're going to be eaten by your own people, because this is listen, no one here in this country has no idea that any kind of child marriage is going on. You realize that, right? You may know, but the average person here is under the assumption that America would never do that, that America would protect the children. You realize that, right? They have no idea. You realize that part, right? You need to think about this closely when I'm saying they don't know. So what that means is they're under the assumption, hear this part very closely. They're under the assumption that your country is protecting children and doing well for children. Now, I know the news shows you, the average American, many things about kids dying and everything, but they would never think that the American government would actually have child marriage. No, most American citizens would never think that. Listen, I know I'm right. You go ask any of these famous people, any of these street people, any people locked up in prison. You think these prisoners know that you got 44 states with child marriage? You think people in Rikers know this? You know how much, you see how serious of a speaker I am? If I went and sent a bulletin to all these inmates, which I have the right to do, I think. If I sent a bulletin to them telling them 44 state has child marriage, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to raise hell. Why? And they're going to ask, why am I locked up when my country is marrying children? Oh, I know it's a joke to you, but people dying in the prison system as a result of being a pedophile. They dying there. Not beaten up, dying. Why you think it's a game? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I get my perspective from street people. Maybe I do. Because you can't live on these streets you can't live with that kind of credibility like that, where it's solid. We talking about solid. You got 44 states with child marriage. I've been living. I'm still living. You ain't stopping me. You ain't changing nothing about me. I choose to move like this. Oh, you thought you had me slowed down and captive, didn't you? That's a 7 hour. You ain't got me captive. Listen, I don't want to be around you. You got 44 states with child marriage. Why I want to be around you for? That's a 7 hour. Why I want to be around you for? You didn't think about that part. Why you thinking I was scared? That's a 7 hour. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If anybody gets respect, it's me. Man, how you think these prisoners will respect me? Man, who cares about the police? They part of the problem. How you a police and you don't know this? You got 44 states with child marriage. You have to quit. That's a 7 hour. You have to quit. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Hey, look, that's a part of the fallen world we live in. But you're not gonna have the liberty of saying you're a cop, oblivious and ignorant to the laws. You're not a cop anymore. You're an officer for the 44 states of child marriage. That's what you are. Yeah, if you was law enforcement, you wouldn't be working. You would be like me, talking on YouTube about this real stuff going on. I don't care about you trying to feed your family. You have to look at this as a non-option to work for the American government. This is how we're going to win the FBI, the military, and all of them. We're going to tell them cut and dry, no, listen, you're not a part of them anymore. They're marrying children, you come out now. That's it. Gee, listen, man, you think God ain't going to hold you responsible for supporting a system and fighting for a system that's marrying children that's against your culture? It's against your culture. You don't have tomorrow to figure this out. It's now. It's now time. It's go time now. You waiting for it. I heard one cop when I was locked up talking about, oh, we hope it changes soon. You should quit now. That's how I know you ain't 100. Listen, man. You be the same cop talking about kill the pedophiles. But meanwhile, you talking about when it comes to the government doing what they do, you talking about you hope it changes soon. That's a 7 hour. Yeah, but let a pedophile go around you and you can get away with killing them. What do you think that same cop gonna do? If it's brutal enough of a situation, if it's brutal sexual crimes, what you think that cop gonna do? What you think he would like to do? So why is he still working for the government that has 44 states for child marriage? But he ready to go rough up some pedophiles. That's 7 hour. Listen. They exaggerate the situation, but the reality is, man, I rule from information. There's no man that can see me. And I didn't ask to be put in this position, but it is what it is. You can bring anybody to me. And there's no way a good man is going to walk away the same. He's not going to walk away the same. Your pro-black information has people jaded. Your pro-black information changes no one. That's why I'm trying to show you. You're not changing anything. Okay, you talk to one of these white cops. All he's gonna do is shake and nod his head at your pro-black information. That's all he gonna do. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you're right, sir. Hope things change. He gonna say the same thing that cop said to me. Hope things change. I tell him about 44 states with child marriage. He gonna feel betrayed by his country. He's gonna feel betrayed by everybody that's in leadership right now. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, all of them. Donald Trump still trying to run. He's gonna feel betrayed by everyone, like I feel. He ain't gonna feel betrayed when he hear your information. It ain't gonna get nothing done, bruh. You gotta listen, man. You wasting your time with that stuff, man. They don't even love each other. Oh, how you gonna change that? Man, listen, man. I'm trying to win. What you trying to do? You trying to be pretty and you ain't getting nothing done. It sounds good, but you ain't getting nothing done, though. You ain't on your Malcolm X or getting it by any means necessary. You can go talk to these feds. What pro-black information gonna do? They might hold you in high esteem, look at you a little more with more respect, but that's still not getting nothing done. Maybe that's what you after anyway. You after a little respect, ain't you? Hey, I don't know. Because by now, I would have seen that they ain't doing nothing. Meanwhile, my information is changing everything. Man, ain't nobody can stand in front of me talking about anything, man. That's good for real. CIA, what they gonna say? I'm not intimidated by that. 44 states with child marriage tears that apart. Meanwhile, with all your investigations and operations, you got 44 states with child marriage, big baby. That's a 7 hour. That's God done this. I didn't do this. That's how you know it's a God assignment. You see the difference between someone that's God sent and someone that's bent on doing it their way? They're bent like, listen, I don't disrespect anyone that went out here and fought for civil rights and all of that. No, it's no disrespect. But at the end of the day, man, no, everyone don't care about that. Everyone does, like right now, no one cares. You know what I'm saying? That's not the route to go. It's good information for people that do care, but it's not good information. It's not proper information to start a revolution. So what you trying to do? Gather people to certain informations that like certain informations, like you're at the grocery store? Well, he likes this kind of stuff. They like this kind of stuff. Let's season some of that on that. Let's season this chicken that way. Now listen, man, this is the winning ticket. That's what I'm trying to show you. This is the winning ticket. Why you trying to be pretty? Why you trying to be sexy? I'm trying to get it done. I don't care if they esteem me ugly, whatever you want to think. You think I'm a traitor? How I'm a traitor and I never had alliance with you in the first place? Ooh. That's a 7 hour. I'm a black man. I ain't have no alliance with you. I might have wore a flag from time to time on a shirt or a hat or something, but that was short-lived, bro. Listen, I never held no alliance. The only way somebody can be a certified traitor is that they had a strong